All right. Welcome to the live stream. This is the second live stream in the Game Transformation Show. So this is leading up to the Game Transformation launch on September 11th. If you haven't signed up yet, get the VIP list right here, awesomesummers.com/VIP, or click the link in the description below, or that nifty QR code up there. But yeah. So in this podcast, what we're going to get into is your journey. So what does your journey look like throughout all of this? So we got some comments coming in. Just let me know if the audio is good. Just say audio good. So I'm going to, this one probably won't be 3 hours long because I'll be more succinct. But yeah, I wanted to give you guys some value. I wanted you to do some exercises with me here so that you walk away from this having actually a vision of what you want. So we'll wait for a couple more people to join. But yeah, I guess in the meantime, I can show you guys stuff because now I'm on StreamYard. Thank God, dude. StreamYard's so much good, so much better. Someone said audio good. Cool. Clear audio, nice. What's up? Yeah, it won't be 3 hours long. I'm going to try to give you guys as much value as I can in probably an hour and a half. We'll see. I'm going to answer questions at the end as well. So, cool. So, yeah, let me pull up kind of what the course goes over. So if you guys are unaware at this point, let me see how to share my screen. Now I can finally share my screen. Oh, I should just do this as another window. Boom. Smart man. Okay. Present. Share screen. Select. Okay. Boom. Cool. So you guys should see it here. But basically, yeah, this is the upcoming course. So transform your confidence to become irresistible, high quality women forever. Yeah, Game Transformation, the complete playbook for modern dating. So I'm going to cover some of the things that it goes over. So it covers the 5 phases of game that you go through. This is what every single aspiring ladies' man basically must go through. So desensitization phase, getting over approach anxiety, destroying it so that you can approach anyone, anytime, anywhere. The vibe phase, so you can basically charismatically express yourself and you can build those fun interactions with girls and draw them into it. Sexualization phase, so you basically make it man to woman. It's almost like flipping a switch in the girl's brain so she understands that you're a sexual man and not a friend. The strategy phase, basically where you're making things more strategic. So you're taking things from, you have a good interaction and now you're leading it forward toward polls, basically bringing the girl home. And naturalization, you basically make it all part of who you are rather than something that you do. Nice. We got John Anthony here. What's up, man? Shout out. Cool. So yeah, go some of the bonuses. You got tons of infield, not just my transformation, but there's also some student infields in there. Get accountability, 50 player interviews. So I interviewed 50 guys for this course that are guys that I have known from way back. There's also other coaches. I think like half are coaches, half are just, guys I've met along my journey that have been insanely good at game. And we just went into every single person's background so you can understand their transformation journey. Get group chat, dating tracker. You get lifetime access. So I hate subscriptions. So you get lifetime access, never ending updates. This is pretty much the only course I'll ever do in terms of dating. So everything is going to be in one place. So you get 100% of what you need. There's no other courses you need to buy. There's no subscriptions. There's no bullshit. Everything in one. Get ChatGPT prompts for dating in my banned YouTube vault. relationships and dating stuff. You guys know that, of my 10-year dating history, 8 of them have been in long-term relationships. So talk about that. Aesthetics and health, sex ed, resources. Basically, I give you guys a test for girls to make sure that you're not dating any crazy girls. Cool. Bonus 15, you get lifetime calls with me. You get an elite mastermind group. I'm going to do model interviews monthly. What else? Yeah. Some lifestyle boosters, how to do threesomes, international dating hacks, monthly prizes, discounts on future programs, custom keyboards for stress-free texting. And then this is the coolest bonus of all. Basically, the person who takes the most action every 3 months, we fly out to game with us. So that's basically the course. So we'll get right back into the value here. So what I want you guys to do is, if you're listening to this and you're a note-taking guy and you want to start conceptualizing a lot of this stuff, this guy says, Austin, is it required to have a US number to receive your VIP list content? No, you can just skip the number part and just use the email. I think it's just it's a non-necessary thing on that VIP list. But anyway, so what I want to paint a picture for you guys are 3 things. And I'll open these images up to help you kind of conceptualize where you're at and where you want to go. So in life, if you want to achieve something, you only need 3 things, right? 3 things. Got Instagram over here too. You need your starting point, you need your destination, and then you need the path to get there. So what we're going to go through here is an exercise to help you audit your life right now, understand where you're at, and then understand where you want to go, and then start to plot out some of the steps along the way. Sound good? If you guys can still hear me, post some comments down below in the live stream chat. Cool. So I'm going to paint you a picture. This is of a isolation island. So cool. So let me pull this stuff up. Bada bing, bada boom. So Isolation Island is a place where many of us start our journeys. It's a place where you think that you're doing it all alone. You don't reach out to friends. You don't reach out to, let's say in this certain wingmen. You don't reach out to mentors. You don't try to learn a faster way. You just kind of go through life trying to figure it out on your own. This is what psychologists call narcissistic self-sufficiency bias. So we all have this idea that we're these superheroes that can figure it out on our own. We're all our own, we're the main character. Everyone else is the backup character. And what you realize is that the people who get the best results in life, they almost always have a complete network around them, helping them accomplish their goals. So a guy like Kobe Bryant or a guy like Michael Jordan, they have tons of coaches and mentors, and they ask their teammates for feedback. They have this entire ecosystem. Their wives are super supportive. They built this environment and these circumstances around themselves to facilitate making the goals that they have inevitable. So yeah, but most of us start down on Isolation Island. Talk more about this. So you can kind of think of like a dark, dingy island. I'm going to pull up an image for. I like to show things visually. This is good that I have StreamYard going. So pull up Isolation Island. Cool. I'll pull this up. Let's see. Share screen. Slides. I can't do slides. Share screen. Boom. All right. So we got Isolation Island here. Okay. So on this island, you're trying to figure out things on your own. And I'm going to paint you guys a picture of what this can look like. So I want to paint you a picture of a downward spiral in life. So if you want to, just close your eyes and visualize this. So I'm going to paint you a picture, and this is just going to be about your game and relationships, but it can apply to other areas. But for now, we're just going to focus on dating. So on Isolation Island, with your dating life, you're in a downward spiral. You're not taking action. You're not going out. You're not approaching. You're not texting girls. Maybe on Isolation Island, you're addicted to porn. You're trapped in this kind of shame cycle where you kind of are ashamed of yourself for, having to deal with porn or not getting the girls you want, or feeling isolated, feeling lonely, feeling like things are just kind of, out of control. So you have no compatibility, with the people that you're meeting, and you kind of just repel people. You're maybe negative. I used to be super, super negative, super critical, and just drove everyone away. So another thing that happens is you start to form a belief system around these circumstances in your life. And these belief systems can help support this construct of just loneliness and isolation. So you may have a belief that you're unlovable, that you're not good enough for certain girls that you want. You may have the belief that, it's just not for you. I used to believe that I would never be able to get a girlfriend for the rest of my life. I used to think that girls just wouldn't like me, and there's nothing that I could do to change that. Even if you're a smart guy, you can get trapped into these patterns of negative belief system. So I want you to envision 5 years trapped on Isolation Island, where you wish for the past 5 years that you had said hello, put yourself out there, put in the effort to meet that girl. But instead, you spend either countless years watching girls go by without saying a word to them, or some of you may treat women kind of like an Amazon package and think, hey, I'll just download Tinder and just swipe. And then you realize that the only girls you're matching with are, fat, handicapped, trans, feminists. Maybe for you, Isolation Island isn't even isolated. It's just that you're not having the type of relationships that you want. Maybe your social life is just not that good. So think about what that would mean for you. What does it mean for you 5 years down the line, not taking action in your dating life, your game, and your relationships? Is this the life that you want to live? Cool. Probably not. So now the easy part, the good news is that it's really easy to understand kind of where you're at, and it's really easy to understand where you want to go. So let's pull out another image. This is of a completely different reality. And this is one I like to call the castle in the sky. So let's pull out, this image is awesome. I'm gonna pull this one up. Whoop. Cool. So share screen, boom, castle in the sky. Okay. So this is basically defining what you want. So I want you guys to close your eyes and visualize. We'll write all this down afterward, but I want you to start visualizing what you want. So it could be, hey, I want to get more confidence. I want to be more authentic, expressive. I want to, date around. I want to meet a bunch of fun girls to have, fun experiences with. And then maybe at the end of that, get a girlfriend that I I'm compatible with, who's awesome, who shares my values, who's loyal, who's feminine, who's sweet, caring, nurturing, all this kind of stuff. So I want you guys to close your eyes, and I'm going to paint you a picture of a reality that is very different than the previous reality. So close your eyes. I want you to visualize a life on your terms where you're in an upward spiral up to your castle in the sky. This is a life where you set the goals and you maintain standards for yourself. You're disciplined. You're not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions. What you decide that you're going to get, you get. So in your game, your relationships, your dating life, you're taking action. You're going out consistently. You've, got a community around you that supports you, that helps you. You got that really great social learning going on. You're meeting a bunch of girls. Maybe have a mentor or an older guy to show you the ropes, or you have a great wingman who kind of takes you under his wing. And I want you to think of 5 years of dedication to your game, your relationships, and your dating life, what that looks like, and the type of adventures that you're going to be going on. So think about you pushing into your edge, doing things that are a little uncomfortable for you, but make you feel alive. It makes you feel like you're living in a movie and you finally are the main character. Think about your life from a third party perspective. Someone sitting in a movie theater watching this epic movie that is your life. How would you act? How would you act if all of your ancestors and all of your, descendants could see how awesome you are? To see you pushing into your out of your comfort zone, into your stretch zone, into the things that make you feel uncomfortable. So you're going out, you're meeting a ton of girls, you're writing field reports, you're analyzing things, you're getting better, you're in this like Kaizen, you're in this like constant iteration, this constant progress, and you're getting feedback on what to do better. So you're constantly growing, you're constantly expanding. You can contribute more in conversations. You are fun. You feel like you're relaxed. You feel like when you go to a nightclub to talk to girls, you're at home. You feel like you can approach anyone, anytime, anywhere, and you can lead it forward. It's the closest thing that you have to kind of this, magic pill. And try to think of some of the adventures you're going on, whether it's pulling two girls, whether it's traveling. Think about where you want to travel and the type of women that you'll meet when you're there. And then think about a girl who makes all the rest seem irrelevant. This girl is just so awesome. I want you to kind of visualize what that ideal girl looks like for you. What qualities does she have? How does she make you feel? Maybe you feel like home when you're with her. You can finally relax around someone. Maybe you're finally with someone who cares about you, and you take their feedback with the utmost respect and you use it to grow. Maybe you feel like a boss when you walk down the street with her. For me, I love when I walk into a restaurant with a girl and guys just look depressed on their dates with other girls. I like when I feel alive with someone, when I'm sharing that gift of the present moment with someone, when I feel like I can just let loose and joke around with someone and be myself. What does it feel to connect with someone physically, emotionally, spiritually? So I want you to ask yourself, 5 years from now, you walk into the bathroom, you look in the mirror, ask yourself, was it all worth it? And now you can open your eyes. So now you have your castle in the sky, kind of like the things that you want. So you got isolation island down below, and now you got your castle in the sky up above. So now you should think, what is the fastest path to get there? You can think of this as like your GPS. The GPS, the point of it is to get you from point A to point B as fast as possible. Diego says, is there going to be an infield breakdown? So if you go to this link, awesomesummers.com/VIP, and put your email in there, I send you an infield that is in the course immediately. It's a 20-minute infield that is like, I think it was selected because the guys in the course already, the early bird testers for the course, said it was the best infield. So if you want to get one of the best infields in the course, awesomesummers.com/VIP. You get the email immediately after you confirm your email. But yeah, so you have an idea of where you want to go, and you have an idea of where you're at. Thanks, John. I should make you a mod. But anyway, so I want you to visualize this in another way. So let's do a life audit. Pull this up. Okay. So we'll do a life audit, talk a little bit more. Actually, fuck it. We'll do goals. So I want you guys to write down specifically what your goals are. This is everything I'm doing on this call, by the way, is backed up by science. So you should set a goal. You should have an actionable plan to get there. You should have a community that supports you and facilitates you getting there. So number one, I want you to write down just a couple of your goals. Could be one, could be two, could be three, and post them in the chat as soon as you get them. I'm going to check on Instagram what you guys are saying. You guys have any goals on Instagram? What's up, guys? I want you guys to write down a couple of your goals. Just post it in the chat. What are your guys' goals with game? Because then I could use some of these as examples and help you guys on that path. Yo, Gonzalo, write down some of your goals for game. Cool. Lubo says, find a long-term girlfriend. Awesome. No one else has any goals, or let's see. What's up, Instagram? Cool. Lubo wants a travel partner. I think that would be good for your hikes. Lubo just needs a vegan hiker, traveler chick. All right, we got some. Find a beautiful wife that's a good mom, best friend, and nymphomaniac. Cool. Lose virginity. Cool. My goal is to seduce Austin Summers. I tried for 6 months and failed. Be less negative, unhappy. So, Abdi, if you become less negative and less unhappy, I guess just frame me differently. If you become happier and more positive, if you become less negative, less unhappy, what do you want to use that for in terms of your dating life? Right? Cool. George says, I just want to bang as many women as I can before I turn 45. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you guys the framework. You can do whatever you want with it, as long as you're ethical with it. Another secondary goal is feel like I can talk to anyone and don't regret not taking action. Yeah, I think that's a big one for a lot of people, is that they just regret just watching girls go by. Game without alcohol, nice. Feel smooth when I talk to people and can connect. Meet women that are considered out of my league all across the world and have crazy experiences. Awesome. Cool. So write that goal down. The guys that have written it down, awesome. If you don't feel comfortable sharing it, then write it down yourself. To enjoy more better quality women. Okay, so we all have an idea of what we want. Now let's do a life audit. So I want you guys to write down right now a life audit in these areas. This is not going to be a full life audit. This is going to be mostly focused on dating. That's what you guys are here for. So there are 3 areas that, when multiplied, give you results. Okay. So write this down. I'm going to give you guys an equation to write down. Results equals SMV times game times volume. Okay. So let's go through this one by one. So SMV, these are kind of like your on paper stats. This is your looks, your money, your status, your intelligence, your emotional intelligence. So if you combine all these up, what would your SMV be? Okay. So for looks, I'm probably like a 6. For money, I'm probably like a 7. For status, depends, honestly, because in some senses, I have high status because I have a following, but then that also makes me low status because I'm also talking about dating stuff, which is outside the norm and perceived as that. So I'll just give myself a 5 for status. And then for intelligence and emotional intelligence, I'll give my intelligence probably a 9 and my emotional intelligence probably like a 7 or something. I don't know. Like default emotional intelligence is pretty low. So I think all in all, SMV, I'm probably like 6.57. Okay, so give yourself a score from 1 to 10 on just SMV. This is your sexual market value. These are your on-paper stats. So it's your looks, just like your face, body, height, health, hygiene, grooming, style, your money, so your career, financial freedom, ambition, your status. So it's your network, your friends, access to high status environments, career, social media presence, your intelligence, emotional intelligence. So if you take just your on-paper stats, if I got like just get a paper here. If I wrote who you are on this one sheet of paper and gave it to someone, said, hey, this is stats about this guy. What's his SMV? What would yours be? Okay, so we got that one, 1 to 10. And now your game. So game is your ability to convert opportunities that you get, right? So it's your ability to, it's your game qualities. So your leadership, your dominance, your ability to express yourself, your ability to make people feel comfortable around you, your ability to read the room, your ability to, everything that has to do with game internally, the qualities you have and how that comes out, your skill set, and also your funnel efficiency. So how efficient is it for you to meet girls and convert those to dates, right? If you live 47 minutes away from, the downtown area of your city where all the girls are, it's going to be a little inefficient, right? If you're not good at pulling, it's going to be a little inefficient. So I want you guys to rate your game on a scale from 1 to 10. Okay. Now let's move on to volume. So volume is the quantity of opportunities you create in person and online. So you can kind of think of this as like bodybuilding, how you need to put in reps. Do you think that someone would be reasonable if they said, hey, I want to get to Olympia level physique, and I want to do that by doing 4 reps per week? Would you say, hey, that's achievable, man? Or would you say, I don't think your actions match your goals? There's like a mismatch there. Yeah, there's definitely a mismatch. So you need to put in the reps, not only to learn the skill set, but to put yourself out there, because not every girl that you meet is going to want to be with you, right? So you have to do a volume of approaches. And it's not just doing them to do them. You have to learn from them. So you can kind of think about it like quality reps in the gym. So if you're doing quality reps, what are you doing? You're doing full range of motion. You're slowing down when you get to the bottom, slowing down at the top. You're doing quality reps with good form and building that mind muscle connection. You're not jerking movements like this, right? It's the same thing with game. You're going out and you're each time that you're in an interaction, you're either pushing yourself forward or you are staying in the interaction longer. You're talking to hotter girls, you're talking to more girls. So, yeah. So volume is the quantity of opportunities you create in person and online. So these all multiply together, right? So I'm going to post this again. Results equals SMV times game times volume. So they multiply, right? If you have, let's say, think of like the most attractive guy you know, and he has shit game. He's like, he's traumatized around women. He can't, talk to a girl. So he also has zero volume. His results are going to be zero. Now let's think about a guy who has really high SMV. So he's, really attractive, really well connected, great financially, super high IQ, super high intelligence, emotional intelligence as well. And he, let's say, has great game, but he doesn't approach a single girl. He doesn't do any kind of online game. He doesn't do any kind of in-person game. His results are going to be zero or lower. Now, who's going to get the most results? It's probably the guy who's combining all of those and getting all of them kind of boosted up. So a guy who's worked on his SMV, right? He gets a haircut. He gets, nice clothes. He works out. He takes care of his health, which impacts all the other areas of how he looks, right? The most attractive people that you look at are the people who are the healthiest, right? You can kind of think of yourself. Think about when you're sick or tired, you don't sleep well, compared to when you're eating an animal-based diet, you're sleeping 8 to 10 hours a day. There's a completely different way you look. And then conversely, you can think of like the quintessential game guy in the community, where he's doing a ton of volume, he's meeting a lot of girls, and he's working on his game. His game's getting really good, but he doesn't focus at all on his appearance, his hygiene. He smells bad. He has no ambition in other areas of life. It's like, even though that guy can get laid, he's not going to get the quality of women that he wants, and he's also not going to keep girls around. Right? Because at the end of the day, any fucking guy, like, dude, I got laid more when I was poor than when I got rich. I got laid more when I had to ask girls to like buy my coffee because I didn't have money for it than when I made money, right? Because it's more about having the drive to meet girls, putting yourself in those opportunities and leading them forward and having like some free time to do that than it is to, like, I'm just optimizing my lifestyle and hopefully the girls will come, So hopefully that makes sense. That's how you get results. Hopefully that was good. I don't know if you guys can, there's not many comments on this. It's weird, but cool. So yeah, you kind of have like that life audit in that area. So I want you guys to write down, post in the chat, like add all your numbers up and put what you are out of like 30. Let's see. Or you can average it out of 10. So SMV times game times volume. I guess if you're multiplying it, what would that be? The best score would be 1,000 then. Yeah. Like the maximum score would be 1,000. I wonder if anyone is actually doing this. That'd be sick. So like I'd give my SMV. Yeah. Let me actually do it right now. I have no, I have a phone going here, a phone going here. Okay. 20. So yeah, your volume is 1. So isn't that interesting? Like once you write this out, you can kind of see like, oh, I just haven't been approaching anyone. I haven't, put myself out there at all. Cool. So yeah, now we have done the life audit, right? So you know where you're at, you know where you want to go, and now we have to chart out the path to get there. So let's take someone for example. Who wants to be my little case study here? And it'd be cool to bring someone on stream. Let's see. I think if I paste this StreamYard link, people can join. So I'm going to paste the StreamYard link. If you guys want to do I'll do a case study on someone. So like understanding their goal, understanding where they're at, and then kind of building it up from there. Gonzala, 108. Nice. Someone's going to be like 666. Oh, God. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, now we have the path to get there. So if anyone wants to hop on, it says Joao wants. So Joao, can you join YouTube? Joao e as minas quadradas. I don't even know what that means. Dude, a lot of this is like it's what's it called? Portuguese chat now. But yeah, if anyone wants to jump on, if not, I'll just do the talk about the path to get there. Cool. All right. Let me see. You know what? I could use my course for this. Okay. Just going to share my screen soon. Cool. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. Okay, cool. So let me just go to like the main overview, the modules. So yeah. So basically, everyone starts at a certain point, and then they have to go through this. Oh, dude, I made an image for this. I'll just use the image. I really like the image. We did so much yesterday that I like still processing it. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up an image here. Cool. Okay, boom. Cool. So this is basically like the path that every single guy goes through when he's learning game. So, okay, cool. We got Gonzo here too. Boom. What's up, man?
Hey man, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yo, Rahul. So every guy starts his journey kind of paralyzed by anxiety, like unsure of what to do. But yeah, hey Gonzo, why don't we talk about you? So what goals did you write down for yourself?
Right now, just well, at the beginning, just to seduce the world. That was my goal when I first started.
To
I
seduce
was
the world?
I was very ambitious. I wanted to when I first found out about this, I wanted to like game the president's daughter or something. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, I think I had something similar when I first found out about it. I was like, dude, how cool would it be to like meet a girl from like every single ethnicity on earth?
Yeah, yeah,
So
twins
yeah, you had
also.
big vision. So what is your goal now though?
Oh well, right now it's just getting back in the game because it's been a while.
Okay. So do you want to start dating around more? Do you want to get a girlfriend? What are you setting your sights on? And also, how old are you?
I'm 26. I'm building the lifestyle I want. So I'm trying to build that lifestyle of financial freedom to have the liberty to go out more. Because right now I'm dealing with a lot of things. I just bought this
Hmm.
place in Guadalajara, Mexico. I'm having
Oh, nice.
yeah, I'm dealing with a lawsuit with my neighbors, so it's very time consuming.
Hmm. Okay, so you basically want to get back out there, meet a bunch of girls, um,
Yeah, change my
pretty much
life.
that, and
Yeah,
then yeah, have some more free time to do that. Okay,
yeah.
cool. So, and where are you currently at? Like, where are you currently at with all this? Are you have you been going out now? Are you still kind of are you back into approach anxiety? Are you where
Yeah,
do you feel like you're at?
yeah. I'm back into approach society. Well,
Yeah.
I went up to the point where every time I had a date, it became something sexual. Like I could escalate very easily now.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's been a few months since I've gone out, so I don't really know. It's hard to approach again.
Yeah. So what I find is that once you go through this, if you basically can relearn this whole process that may have taken you, like for example, for me to get to naturalization took me about 2 years, 2.5 years maybe. But if I don't go out for 3 months, I still feel some anxiety. So I just like rapidly progress through this. And I find like within like 2, 3, 4 days, I'm kind of back up to like being in it. And then if you once you reach this point, if you just kind of like do maintenance, similar, it's same thing with bodybuilding too, right? Once you build your physique, you can basically work out twice a week to keep that physique forever. So, yeah, so you're back down to desensitization. So the first thing I have guys do is the desensitization plan. And the first step of the desensitization plan is the warm-ups. So, I do an extensive warm-up where I with new students where I have them basically warm up their body. So we do some stretches, right? We warm up our voice. So we do the highs to lows. We do the hiss. We do different things to warm up our voice. Then we warm up verbal ability. So start talking, get the mouth moving. Any part of your brain takes 5 to 10 minutes to warm up, and then we also warm up socially. So do compliments and that kind of thing. So we're starting to gradually warm up. And when you feel what you feel like after you do 5 compliments with guys, 5 compliments with girls, is that you're able to kind of start talking to other people and other girls in a more direct way. So that gradually leads into just doing approaches. So most guys think that approaching is the first step, but it's actually like the seventh step of a process. And that's why a lot of guys they get stuck at this phase forever, which is kind of sad. It's like this giant speed bump that prevents you from like experiencing all of this. And this is just the 5 phase of game. There's a 6th phase of game that's kind of a secret phase. I'm going to leave that for September 11th when I talk about the course. But once you learn game, you can take it so many cool different ways. Like you build a lifestyle around it, and there's so many little things to explore once you have the skill set. It's kind of like if you were learning parkour, right? First you're like scared of like stepping on a rail or something, and then you get into this flow state with it and you're really good at it, and then you become it's like second nature to you. Once it's second nature to you and you're naturalized into doing parkour, you can like fucking like hop off of airplanes or fucking I don't even know what you do, like you know descend from buildings and like rock climb. Like there's so many cool things you can like do outside of it that you don't have access to unless you get to it. But yeah, so desensitization is the first thing. And what you'll notice is that, like, for example, for you, Gonzo, when you're around your friends, you're probably able to express yourself pretty well, right? Crack jokes, maybe tease them, fuck around. So you do vibe naturally, but the thing that happens is unless you decrease the anxiety, you can't get into this vibe phase, right? You can't express your full personality if you're just like, you're feeling like you're drowning, right? In the anxiety. And in the past, when you did game, did you notice that like the more approaches you did, or the more frequently you went out, that you were able to express yourself more with girls?
Yeah, there was a point where I was going out every day, every day to do day game, and then on the weekends I would do night game, and it was so much fun until I got sick, and I was like, oh, I'm sick, I can't really speak right now. I'll just go out next week, and then you know I started changing my lifestyle. But I have a question though. So if I'm trying to build a lifestyle where I have abundance, but I also want to join, like, let's say, BJJ or uh, martial arts. I want to do other activities that I'm interested in, but there's not a lot of women in there. Should I just do them anyways and also go out to do day game or whatever, or should I try to mix?
Yeah. Yeah. So game, you don't need to game 16 hours a day, right? Like for example, for me, I love playing ultimate frisbee. I don't know if you guys know that about me. I've gotten like 3 or 4 major injuries from it, and I just keep playing because it's too fun. Like literally right now, my toe nail is like completely black from playing in New York when I was there on immersion. But yeah, so you have the just block out time in your calendar to game, or live in a place where gaming is natural for you. Like, dude, where I live, I can meet girls in my building. I can meet girls on the street. I can meet girls when I walk to, Whole Foods. I can meet girls when I'm just going about my day. So I let my environment control that. Do you live in a house?
Yeah, in an apartment,
An apartment. Okay. Where do you live?
Guadalajara, Mexico.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know in Mexico, some cities are set up like very car based. So you have to like drive everywhere. But you want to optimize your logistics as much as you can, because you're just going to be putting yourself in so many more situations if you want to spend a lot of time doing other stuff. Now, people that I don't even like the idea of like building your like, hey, I'm only going to do Pilates class because there's girls in there. It's like, realistically, how many girls are you going to meet from that? It's like one, two.
Old ladies.
Like even my friends that do like salsa and stuff like that, they'll meet like 10% of the girls that they bang in a year from doing salsa. It's like you can meet so much more just by having a very like a system that you follow that you use. So like for example, if you're going out, let's say you just love night game, right? You go out to bars and clubs, you meet girls. You can meet way more girls doing that, and you have less pressure on you to like that's the thing with like more high pressure environments, such as like, let's say a yoga class. In yoga class, you're doing yoga for 98% of the class. And then when it ends, you have like this small window of opportunity to talk to someone. So it's not a very conducive environment to meeting a lot of girls, right? And then on top of that, you put a lot of pressure onto those interactions, because if you fuck up, then it goes wrong, right? So I'd advise anyone in the desensitization phase to focus on meeting strangers first and get your skill set either back or just learn the skill set in the first place. And then once you're at the naturalization phase, you can meet anyone, anytime, anywhere, because you have that social calibration built up over time of doing this, right?
Okay.
Rahul, did you want to say something? You were smiling.
No, no.
Rahul was like, dude, my yoga teacher, she's so hot though. Yo, Rahul, how's it going, man?
It's going fine. I can actually drop off. I just joined because no one is joining. But if you're going to explain this much to me, I think this live stream is going to again be 3 hours long.
Well, yeah. So Rahul's one of my students, and I don't know, what do you want to talk a bit about your journey and like where you're at now and where you want to go?
Okay. So I'm a 30-year-old Indian guy. I work in the tech in the Bay Area in California. And before I recently moved to the US, and I've been doing cold approach in India as well. I was just following random stuff on the internet. Yeah, just basically throwing my approaches in the dark without any system or anything. And I basically found myself lost at game, don't know where to go, don't know how to go about it. And then after coming to the US, I took an immersion under Austin. Um, Stayed with him at his place, and it was a very, I mean, it was one of the It's been almost an year for me in the US, and I think it's the most fun experience I had during my entire stay in the US. And a lot of learning. I mean, that whatever weekend of that immersion, it had so much value that just to absorb that, it took me like the next 8 9 months and constant action. I think the other thing, good thing that happened was the community that it gave you. So basically, everything that I live right now in my life is I would give it to that course and the community. I wake up, I do the meditation clips, which has Austin voice in the course. I take the shuttle to office and either listen to live streams or when I'm going home, I'm again on a live stream. Um, and then I go to work. Uh, yeah, do normal day-to-day tasks. The diet I eat at home is also the one mentioned in the course. I used to eat like Indian diet, which is like pre-diabetic. Um, I completely changed that, and as Indians, we are supposed to worship cows. Austin just opened the doors for hell for me, so I now eat beef. Uh, and okay, then I come back
I'm
home.
getting canceled in India right now.
I come back home, and I found a community of local uh, pickup guys in San Francisco. That also I found through Austin's course. Um, and I ended up staying with them. So I basically built my life around game. And when I come back from office in the evening, we just go and hit the street again, cold approach. And in the night, all the online gaming stuff that I do, I already had photo shoot from Austin, so I get like decent matches. So basically, like 24 hours, like I'm running the course, and yeah, it's been a good
Yo,
experience.
Rahul, look on the screen now. You can have another wingman right here. I'm in the Bay Area also. George from the Bay.
Wow.
Boom.
Okay, I don't have the same experience of pulling, so maybe I need to up my skills more. But yeah, I'm definitely putting in the work. I'm not there where I want to be, but yeah, the community and everything feels so motivating, and this is why I ended up joining another mentorship under him. So uh, boot camp is like a, only for 4 days, but mentorship is like a 3 month program. So basically, I need um, constant nudging to push me in the right direction rather than getting all the inputs at one during one weekend and just being on my own again. So yeah, I'll just stop here.
Yeah, and you also had like what 4 dates lined up one week. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I think it gets intimidating. And last week also I had dates and then cold approach and then sessions and I got sick just because I've been gaming so much and it gets cold in San Francisco at night. So yeah, I
Yeah, but
think
tell us about the your
yeah,
progress so far because you've gone pretty hard. So you started from basically like I think 3 days in the United States. So you had like none of the culture understanding. You had like
yeah,
very little game
I,
understanding, and now talk about
yeah. I
what
think
your current stuff you're dealing with.
okay. So when I started out, I think it was mainly like he said at the desensitization. Even though I was doing approaches in India, just coming to the US and foreign country and I don't know how people would look at me. Every girl is taller. I'm like 5'7", and yeah, everything was. I had all these things that okay, this is not going to work. Why will they talk to me? Like, and then yeah, the first phase was just going hard at the desensitization. I I think the exercises in the course definitely helped. So there are like I think I don't know if he planned it this way or not. So there are like two ways to go about every problem. One is a short-term solution and one is a long-term one. So short-term wise, like the code, you just read the course, implement it, and it's gone. So did something, lessen my anxiety, and like focusing on your food and everything also helps. I mean, the way to lessen anxiety through lifestyle changes, I didn't know that could happen. That got like resolved like after like a month. I think I needed to go over desensitization, action plus all these little tricks and techniques. Then I think the next was vibing. Yeah, vibing. I remember like on the immersion, I was like so stuck in my head that before people were going out for night game, Austin told me to just go out and talk to the tree for 5 minutes and keep my mouth moving. And now I think I don't have any problem uh, speaking. Now my problem is basically having the girl talk as well. So
Mm.
I don't know how that happened. I don't know. I was just maybe following normal stuff. Um, and then I think vibing wise also I improved. Then texting I think was my biggest. Like I think just because I'm raised in an Indian family and conservative family, a couple of guys on the group just suggested me you share your screenshots and they suggest like texting advices, but it's those texting advices are just not limited to that screenshot, right? They tell you the flaws in your personality, how you look at your interactions with women, and how you should look
Yeah.
at them. The same exchange of words can be interpreted a different way. So that it just flips something in your brain, and you start looking at the same interaction differently. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It just yeah, it's just changes the programming of everything, and which I think was one of the greatest epiphanies. I mean, there were a lot of epiphanies, but yeah, and
Yeah, I actually did some
I can
research on
focus
this last
further.
night. I did some research on this last night for like actual studies to back this up. And so many studies support the idea of having like a supportive community to facilitate faster and more effective learning. So there's collaborative learning studies, and they basically found that when people collaborate with each other, like the person giving tips, it helps them learn, and the person receiving them helps them learn. So uh, there's like 10 different studies I pulled up. One is like
Also,
peer teaching, peer assisted learning, and then social presence, and then like just having people there that like have your back and will support you is like in and of itself value.
yeah, just to add on to that, the guys I met from the local community, I mean, the guys who are present in that inner circle group who have taken Austin's courses. So I don't know anyone here as an immigrant, like no family, no friends. And just to do game and stretch, I tend to travel and meet girls all across the US. And that group has guys across the US. And now we have been helping each other over texting and sharing our experiences. So they're like basically my friends. I can go to their places, say New York, LA, Texas. I can stay with them, game with them, and build that camaraderie. Also, just because those people have paid for the course and stuff, so the quality is also better compared to the
Yeah.
local guys I found. Um, one thing about quality is like
That's
it.
one thing I found as well is that exclusivity creates the value. Like the if I had a free group, a free Telegram group for like years, maybe since 2018 to like this year or last year, and it was a free Telegram group. People could get in it, and it just ended up turning into this like weird cesspool. Like it was just either bad ideas or like negative people or like bickering, and it was just like there's no point to have a group of people that don't take their growth seriously. So yeah, so the
I mean, yeah,
exclusivity is what creates the value. Yeah.
people do get like I also do get bitter and frustrated at times because going out there and getting rejected is hard. But I think that group is maybe it's moderated better or by more positive people, so it never shifts in that direction of negativity or
Yeah, another
bitterness.
thing I've done is so I have two groups now. They're both paid groups. One, you can only stay in if you're active. So if you're
Yeah.
active, you get kicked out of that group and you go to the lower group. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. But okay, we got 25 seconds left on the Instagram one, so I'll just give you guys my pitch. Basically, go to austinsummers.com/VIP and you guys get a free infield as well as bonus content leading up to the course launch that'll be nowhere else. So if you guys want a free 20-minute infield for me, one of the best infields in my upcoming course, go to austinsummers.com/VIP. You can also go to YouTube right now as this ends. So cool. All right. Can you sign me out? Okay, cool. So yeah, basically this is kind of how the journey works. And some people have some of these things already taken care of, right? So some guys, as growing up, they had like a lot of female friends. I feel like me at a certain point, I think when I was in was it 11th grade and 12th grade, I was just kind of considered like another girl almost. Like girls just viewed me as like a friend. They just viewed me as like another girl to talk to. So I feel like the vibe stuff for me is kind of easy. Um, the sexualization was something that I struggled with for a very long time. And then the strategy of like knowing how to do things, knowing when to do things, knowing the lines to use, knowing how to make a girl comfortable, knowing all that kind of stuff, the logistics of it was kind of a struggle too. And then naturalization just is a pattern of repetition until it becomes who you are. And also the beliefs change here. So one of the things that you'll never want to tell someone new at game is just be yourself. Because when you tell a guy who's new to game, just be yourself, what he thinks of that is, oh, I can just be the needy, anxious, traumatized guy that I've always been that repels people and girls will like me. And the reality, as we know, is probably not farthest from farthest from the truth. So eventually you do reach that place where you shed all those weird tendencies, you shed the anxiety, you shed the trauma that's affecting your behavior, you shed the bad personality traits, and you actually express yourself, right, with the vibe phase. You actually communicate authentically through the sexualization phase. You're not trying to hide your intentions. You know how to lead it forward. You have the leadership skill. And then when you are yourself, you're presenting your best self for who you are, as opposed to doing that in the beginning of your journey, which would be an issue. But anyway, that's more or less how the journey works. So everyone's going to have different situations and different the reality is dating is complex, right? There's a lot of things that go into dating. I put it in those three simple categories, S&B, game, volume, because that's essentially what it is on a high level. But closer down, like on street level, I guess, you need some rubber meets the road strategies. You need like, what do I do here? What do I do here? What do I do here? And each person is going to be a little different. And that's why I created the most complex course ever, the most complete course ever, is that it covers all these things. So like, for example, Gonzo, if you're talking about logistics, you just type in logistics and you get the logistics video. Let's say you're like, where do I game and date in my city? You just type it in. Actually, I can show this on the screen. Right. Boom. Let me stop sharing and then I'll share again. Boom. Cool. So yeah, I have all the phases here. So then I can just go up here. Let's say let's say where to game and date in my city. Just type in where. Cool. So what do I got? I guess I should have been more specific than where. The course takes so long to load from all the lessons, but there's like over 200 lessons in this course. So yeah, where to game and date. Boom. Go here. I got the walkthrough. So here's where to game and date in my city. And I think the next video is the walkthrough, right? Let's see. Or the previous one. Yeah. So here's a walkthrough. So I go through like, hey, here's a city I'm going to go to, Chicago. So let me go through all the different places to game and date in my city. Let's say you just want to skip that. You can just create a chat GPT. So chat GPT. You just go to one of my chat GPT prompts for dating and just plug it into chat GPT, and then it'll tell you where to game and date in your city. So any little roadblocks that you hit, it's like I've condensed my 10 years of coaching 1,000 people across the world into this one course. Cool. Yeah, I'm just going to open it up to some questions now. So just do a Q&A call or Q&A stuff. Cool. I'm gonna kick you off, Rahul. So I just see is your seatbelt. But good talking to you, man.
It's Pex.
Talk to you in the group chat. Cool. Gonzo, you had any other questions? I'm gonna spam the link. Can you put the link on YouTube?
Yeah, just how have you been, man?
That's your question? I've been good.
Cool.
Been good. Working really hard. Been doing like what? I don't even know. 12, 16-hour day work. Well, I sleep for like 10 to 12 hours, but my wake time has been primarily work leading up to this launch. But yeah, if you guys want to join the call, put the StreamYard link here so you guys can just hop on the call and we'll just do some Q&A.
I've never joined this live stream before. I wanted to join Alex's like speed dating ones. Those seem fun.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. Let's go through some of these questions. Someone says something. Yeah, so stuff like this, there's an accountability section of the community that I have that you'll get access to with this course so that you can basically do exactly that. I should take a screenshot and then mute the personal information of people on the in the group chat, and I'll post it on the next live stream for you guys. But yeah, let me just pull it up. I guess I could show it through your phone, right? Yeah, so we got, game and relationships channel. We got the digital game, health and aesthetics, wingman locator, miscellaneous memes, inner game, money moves, IG comic collective. One of the cool things we do is we share when you post an Instagram photo, we have everyone in the group like it and comment it. So you have like every photo you post, you get like 20 comments on it. But yeah, if you guys can see this, boom, 6 different channels. And yeah, digital game stuff. So we have like digital game questions, and boom, people post their text and the results they're getting. They post their photo results. It's kind of cool. Okay. What's your longevity routine? So I just eat the diet and do the stuff that, our ancestors would do, except for sleep. My sleep after doing so many immersions is fried, but yeah, I just live in accordance with what nature entails. At a certain point, it may make sense to switch though, because I heard there's like a dual strategy. There's like certain things help you reproduce. So that's kind of what I'm optimizing for right now. After I have kids, I may switch my routines a bit to just focus purely on longevity. But focusing purely on longevity isn't the best thing for your hormones or your sexual progress, basically. So, is pho healthy? I'd say the only thing not healthy about pho is the rice noodles, but rice is less inflammatory. It's just if you are metabolically unhealthy, eating a bunch of getting insulin spikes when you're metabolically unwell is not a good thing. Yeah, if you guys want to ask questions, pop on the stream. StreamYard. Yeah, so you guys, so for example, for you, this isn't a question that you should have. You should just be going out. Like I didn't directly count exactly how many I did. I just would go out basically. And again, in the beginning, I kind of like was going at this blindly. I don't know if you guys listened to the last live stream, but the first 3 months, I just was listening to theory, doing nothing. And then I basically just went out and, did like 3 or 4 approaches my first time going out. And the first one went okay, and the second, third, or fourth went, pretty poorly. When do you plan on reproducing? Probably like mid 30s. I think that's a good time. Yeah, but the rest of pho is really good. It's bone broth, you get tendon, so there's a lot, you get like a good glycine methionine ratio in it. Are you going to have children out of wedlock? I don't know, man. I don't see in the West, I don't see an advantage to getting married. And I listened to an hour-long podcast from a guy who was it wasn't even a podcast, it was basically just like an interview. He was a divorce coach or divorce lawyer, and he said that marriage is just a bad it's a bad technology. Like, we just created marriage, but we can create something better. And when you think about it from a strictly evolutionary perspective, you're supposed to stick with someone that you have kids with for like 8 to 10 years until your kids get old enough, and then like you don't have to be have that same pair bond that can kind of fall apart. And that's what you see in society is like, people get into relationships, even virgins get into relationships. They're like, 8 to 10 years. They're like, okay, this is not working. That's why there's so many divorces. Cool. Exercise, sleep, and diet can be optimized while trying to have children. I don't see what that means. Cool. What to talk about? You guys can post questions, or I don't know, just hang out. Does anyone want to come on the stream? I keep spamming the link. No one's coming on. StreamYard.com. Boom. How do you balance online business with a more active lifestyle? So I don't have an online business. I have an in-person business. That's like the main thing I do, which is immersion coaching. So I coach guys in person for 4 straight days. But yeah. How do I balance business with active lifestyle? So basically, if you want to be physically fit, you should. You could probably do that within 6 to 10 hours a week. So you have like maybe an hour and a half to the gym, 3 times a week. It's 4.5 hours, and then you should walk every day. Get in your steps, like 10,000 steps. Cool thing with walking is you can do it while doing anything else. Like, I listen to audiobooks when I walk, so it's like I'm reading while I'm walking. So kind of combine the two. And then, yeah. So my goal in game now is to have a harem, because I've never had that before, and I think it'd be fucking awesome. And I've had lots of threesomes and foursomes and stuff, but I've never had a harem where like all the girls are dating me. So that is something I want to do before I give up the game and just kind of get some base trad wives and have a farm. But my ultimate goal is that, yeah, have 1, 2, 3 wives and yeah, have a great time on a farm somewhere beautiful in nature. We got Sam popping on. Oh, Sam, can you turn your video on? How do you know if you have autism? So you can actually take an autism quiz. Do you have the here? There's like an autism quiz that you can take. You don't have to post it. Yeah, just type in, what is it? Autism quiz. It's from like, yeah, autism quiz. Do I have autism? It's from Psych Central. There's probably some other like even more legitimate ones, but you can just take the Guys, turn on your videos if you want to come on. Cool. There we go. Charles. What's up, Charles?
Hey man, how's it going?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just got back
What
from.
sports do you play? You got a sports shirt on.
Oh, this is a shirt from back when I was going to university. So,
Cool. So what's your question, or do you have something you want to talk about, or what?
I mean, I just I want to get into it. I want to be able to approach girls without worrying about it, and just have a plan to it. But I don't know where to start.
So the best place to start would be clicking the link austinsummers.com/VIP and going through the course on September 11th. But yeah, I want to give you guys practical stuff to do right now. I think that were you here in the beginning where you did the exercise of like kind of planning the ideas of what you want and understanding where you're currently at?
No, I missed that part.
Yeah. So basically there's only 3 things you really need to have a goal outcome. The first thing you have to do is define where you're currently at. So do a life audit, take an audit of like, hey, what's my, I also said this multiple times. It's like results equals SMV times game times volume. So think about it like, what is your sexual market value right now? Like, what do you look like? What's your career like? What's your status like? What's your intelligence? What's your emotional intelligence like? Take an audit of that. Also other areas of your life too, right? What's my family life like? What's my, I do for my yearly goal setting call, I do this like more broad, but understand where you're at and then write down your goals. So think about, where do I want to go? What do I want? A girlfriend? Do I want to date around a bit? Do I want to have a rotation of girls? Do I want to have a harem? Do I want to have whatever your goals are? Write down what those are. And then you have basically where you're at. And then you have that kind of castle in the sky. And then you just have to think of what are the steps to get there. The convenient thing for me is I've created the steps to get there. So I created like the first sequential fast learning program for game. I will say this. Yeah, that's something I wrote down yesterday. I wanted to unload onto this live stream, is that most courses solve 3% of what you need for this transformation, right? Let me find 3%. Yeah. So most courses focus on 3% of the transformation, leaving like gaping holes in the skill set. So in the scraps they do give you are out of order. Like the first lesson will be like, hey guys, here's how to pull. And you're like, what? I don't even know how to like say hello to a girl. And I feel like anxious going outside. Like there's a sequence and an order for learning everything in the universe. There's like an inherent logic to learning everything. So it's like if you were learning how to skateboard, first you're just going to stand on the skateboard. You're not, a skateboarding coach wouldn't tell you, hey, just, do a crooked grind down that rail or do a kick flip on this three stair. He'd tell you like, hey, stand on the board, get comfortable, tie your shoes properly, wear this kind of clothes, do this. And then, you start pushing around and get your balance. And then you'll start doing more and more stuff. So the framework that I have is this. I don't know if you missed this too, so I'll just pull it up. So basically you start here. Desensitization allows you to relax and start conversations. Vibe is how you can express your personality and kind of supercharge your personality to make it a fun interaction for the girl. Then sexualization is now that you've had that fun interaction where girls are naturally engaged in the conversation, making it man to woman. So some of the things could be touching the girl, getting in closer, having that strong eye contact. Not creepy staring eye contact, but 70% on, 30% off. And then once you have those good interactions, it's about, how do I lead this forward toward a date? How do I lead this forward toward a pull where I can be intimate with the girl? She feels comfortable and we do our thing. And then the final phase of game is naturalization. And that's where you can basically show up in any, like you could drop me in Tajikistan. I don't know the language. I don't know the culture. You take my cell phone away. I can still get laid. Right? You could throw me into a jungle. You could throw me into a city. You could throw me anywhere on the planet and I can get laid, because I've gone through this process and I've led to this phase, which is naturalization. So that's a bit about how the journey works. And if you're starting from ground zero, the best way to start is to do a beginner desensitization plan. And that will be actually coming out of my channel. So I'm going to give you guys content from the course on my YouTube channel. So that video will come out in probably what, 1-2 days? 1-2 days will be like one of the first promo videos for the course. And it's going to give you the exact strategy to get started. So if you're starting from ground zero, it's like, what do I do? This is the first step. So we'll give you guys the first step on there. The next video that's going to come out on my channel is going to be about vibe. And then the next video is going to be sexualization. The next video is going to be like, I guess, what, an infield or some other sneak peek. And then the 5th video is going to be my entire transformation journey in like 10-20 minutes with like, you guys can see me being cringe back in the day. But that's essentially the whole journey. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
It helps that you break it down like that.
Yeah. So how old are you? What? Give me some of your background. How old are you? Where are you from? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm 21. Been working for the last 4 years. So I worked straight out of high school. Went to college for a bit, dropped out. So I kind of missed out on a lot of that experience. And then now I work full time, but it's all remote. So I'm not really used to getting out of the house as sort of regular routine. So that's one of the things I want to work on. But I'm like, I don't really know where to do that. Do I go out to bars, go out clubs, whatever?
Yeah. So part of the course is where to game and date in your city, but it's also important to get good logistics. So you're just naturally nearby those things. Like where I live, I'm like 1 block away from the best bar in my city. And then I'm like 2 blocks away from a university. And then even in my building, there's like hot girls tanning all the time, like by the pool. So it's like, dude, if you have a good setup, it makes it super easy. But as long as you're within like 15 minutes of places to game and date and you have the drive, you make it work. Like Rahul, who was on the call before, he like does he works like I think an hour away from where he lives, but he lives in a place that's better for game. It's like he's made that decision. And since you're remote, you can do so much cool shit with learning game because you can go anywhere. Like you don't need to be tied down. So I'd actually use some if I were you, did I pause or did everyone else pause? I don't know. But can you hear me?
Yeah, consider
Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Yeah. So the cool thing with what you could do is you could use some of the international dating hacks in the course and like go to some places that are really fun for it. What's your current city or state, if you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, Dallas is a pretty good city. The only downside is like driving a lot, but yeah, Dallas is fun. A lot of good nightlife. Can't say too much about the day game. I don't think I've done much there, but yeah, Dallas is a cool city. Good vibe. A lot of chunkaroonies though. A lot of big women. What was that? There's like some basketball coach or some basketball guy. He was just like talking about the big women in San Antonio, Texas. He's like some basketball commentator. But yeah. The thing I did, I learned game in Canada. So after learning game in Canada, like I can use it anywhere. Like I can go anywhere and it's just everywhere's easier than Canada. That's one of the things that I love about learning game in the West. It's like once you learn game in the West, you can kind of use it anywhere. So you get like kind of like a superpower. But yeah, we'll cover some of the stuff that stuff in the course, the international dating hacks and this kind of stuff. I don't know if I could say, dude, I'm like, I read a word list yesterday of words you get demonetized for on YouTube, and one of them is like hacks. But I purposefully deactivate all my monetization, so I don't care. What's up, TJ? Chunkaroonies. Cool, man. Charles, you got any other questions, or go on a rant about something if you want?
So yeah, I mean, go through the steps. I think the course will help when that comes out. Yeah, I'm just kind of listening.
Cool. All right, Sam, what's up, man? You're the new one in the chat. What's going on? Oh, I also did want to say this. Yeah. So you have you have different seasons in your life. Like you can think of it like spring is 0 to 20, 21 to 40 is summer, fall is like 40 to 60, and then 60 to 80 is like winter. So you're in your like summer season right now. So this is a time in your life where you have the hormones that you have, the logistics in your life enable you to gain more muscle than you will at any other point in your life, and you're able to socialize and make great connections with girls and guys right now more than you can at any other period of your life. Right? When you're 42, if you start bodybuilding at 42, you're not going to gain the same amount of muscle that you will at this age. So there's certain times in your life that you should really go deep on stuff. And I think 20s is game and fitness. And you'll notice too, like guys, once they start getting around 30, they start taking their career much more seriously. And it doesn't mean avoid doing your career, but it means don't have your 20s as this like just completely. This one chick on Wall Street just described her 20s as like a completely black period of her life where she doesn't remember anything. It was just like darkness. And when she thinks back about it, it was just like this blur. And now she's like 34 or something. So you don't want your life to be like that. Enjoy this time in your life because you're not the 20s and 30s for most guys is like when they're going to be doing the majority of their dating. And you have this opportunity. I once met this dude. He was like in his 70s in Toronto in this elevator. And I was just asking him, I was like, what's one thing you would have done differently if you were my age? And he thought about it for a second. He was like, you know what I'd do? I'd probably chase more women. He's like, back in my day, I got married too early. And then, I had kids and responsibilities and stuff. And, now thinking back to it, I would have liked to just chase more girls, It's like you got this period in your life that you can have to address this. And you only get to go on this life ride once. So why not? And I remember when I was 21, I was just thinking like I just lost my virginity when I was 21. And I thought, what do I want out of life? And the only thing I really came to my mind was like, dude, I just want fucking hot girls. Like, I just love being around women. I love making out with them. I love taking them on adventures. I love making them smile. I like, feeling them. I like their support. I like their company. I just like feminine energy. I just want women. That's what I want out of this experience of life. It's like you have like a cup. You're like dropped in this cup of life. And it's like, I'm only in this cup for 80 years. What do I want to get out of it? So I don't know. That's one way I've thought about it. Cool. Sam, questions?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I have a problem where I act really like gay around women. I just can't like bring myself to, just like actually have a conversation.
So wait, give me your background. Give me your where are you? How old are you? What's your experience level? How many girls have you slept with? And where did you meet them?
I'm just someone who's interested in like computer science and like things like that. I'm more of like a techie person. I'm 20. I just like yeah. I didn't growing up. I didn't really like talk to people like that, so it was really hard for me.
Yeah. And how old are you?
20.
20. Okay. Yeah. So one of the issues with software developers and coders is you're probably like me. Like my Myers-Briggs is the logician. So I was really into chess and debate, and also I used to like have this debate site, and I would like literally code stuff in it, like the messages, because you can kind of like hack it. So I'd send people messages, and the message box would be floating around stuff. So yeah, the thing with if you have a logical brain naturally, the thing with leaning into that farther and conditioning your logical brain with software development and not socializing is that you become very unbalanced. Now that's the bad news. The good news is that you can shape your brain and you can open up those free association pathways by doing things that are more non-linear and non-logical. So doing things like getting into a flow state, playing a musical instrument, or playing a sport. And then the social areas of your brain, right? You want to activate those. That's a part of who you are, is a social animal. So it's not like when I was at a certain point in my depression, when I was in my teens, I basically felt myself as completely alien to everyone. And I was like, dude, like no one feels like how I feel. And I'm just like weird and like I'm just logical and like I don't think I can connect with anyone. Like those were thoughts that were going through my head. And what I did was I started to view myself as part of the larger picture of life. I started to view myself as like we all share, 99.999% of like DNA. We all are cut from the same cloth. We all have similar pains that we go through. So first step is view yourself like you are part of this greater fabric of humanity, the universe, etc. And that cuts off this blockage that you may have with interacting with other people. The other thing is you need to just gradually ease yourself into that same desensitization plan. It's going to come out in like 2 days. You should follow. But you need to gradually ease yourself into socializing and just make it a priority. In fact, the number one priority. So this is something I'd like write down on my hand or write down on my mirror where I brush my teeth. Or like I have this thing, I see a fridge behind you. So I put you can get a whiteboard to put on the fridge and just write on there like socialize, right? And that'll, every time you go to the fridge, you go to the fridge like 10, 12 times a day. You're going to see that. And it's going to remind you, oh shit, next time I'm at the grocery store, I should say like hi to this person. I should kind of joke around with this person. I should make a compliment. You'll find that just complimenting people makes them smile and it makes you smile. Now, a lot of software developer guys, when I give them the compliment exercise, they go, it's weird though. I don't feel, this is not who I am to compliment. It's like, just accept that you're trying out new behaviors. You're going to feel a little weird and then just do it anyway, right? Go say the compliment, go make the funny comment, and you, what city do you live in? Denver. So there's like fucking, I don't know, 1-2 million people in Denver or something. So
it's half.
It's half. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Let me see. Denver metro population. Let's see the metro. So the metro population is 2.9 million. So you'll meet a lot of girls out that will be from further places that come to Denver as well, just to like party and stuff like that, or just to check out the downtown area. So you have the anonymity there. So you essentially want to practice socializing a game where you have anonymity. This is essentially me. When I was your age, I looked like 12 as well. So if you're curious what you'll look like in your 30s, you'll probably look similar to me. You'll look like still very young. Like most guys and girls just assume that I'm like 23, 24. So eventually at a certain point, it reaches a good, it switches. It's like when you're 35, 40 and you look, 30, it's a benefit. Anyway, yeah. The other thing to catch yourself doing, I don't know if you end up doing this, but I found myself doing it. One, I had a strong need to be right, and I had a strong need for like the truth. And what you'll find is that in social interactions, it's not about finding the truth. It's not about being right. It's not about being correct. It's not about finishing your story. It's not about the logical end to a sequence. It's just sharing emotions back and forth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Some guy just popped on and then popped off. I don't know what happened to him, but RIP. Cool, Gonzo, you popped on. Does this mean you have a question? Or you just want to look at yourself on stream and see how...
I love looking at myself. No, but I do remember I have one question that actually like mentally challenged me. The past year that I was going out, I had several encounters with the guys who were like very aggressive with me, like pulled out guns and knives, and that kind of traumatized me. So I just want to know how you deal with alpha guys.
Yeah. So is that in reference to game, or is this in reference to you getting
in
an argument with
life?
you guys?
No, in life and also during game. Yeah.
Why did you find yourself getting into those situations then?
Well, in night game, once I was just talking, just socializing, and guys were just drunk, and took things in a bad way. And also, I got into some dangerous places that got me in those situations.
Yeah, well, I just know the main tips that I follow are uh, there's stupid places and then there's stupid people, and you want to like avoid the combination of those, right? So, if you're at a gas station in Mexico or the US at 3 a.m., and then there's like sketchy looking people, you probably you could skip getting gas that one time.
Yeah,
The other thing is you need to learn social awareness, because if you see a girl, you can see like, oh, is she with that guy? Is she holding that guy's hand? Or is he touching her? Like you can kind of like understand the situation a bit more. Mexico, this sounds like more of a theme than the US. Like US, it's kind of viewed as like almost reactive or low value if a guy comes up to hit on your girl and you're just like, whoa, bro, hey, whoa, that just comes off as like super low value. So typically, very attractive women, they don't have guys like that. The other thing is learning what to do if stuff like that does happen. And the number one thing is just do this and say, sorry, and use verbal de-escalation skills. So the number one thing to do when you have physical conflict is not to hold your ground or get aggressive or argue back. It's literally just say sorry and walk away. Because the logic tree of that is the downside of you saying sorry and looking away or walking away is, I don't even know if there is a downside. Maybe you look less cool, or your ego takes a small hit for 5 seconds. You feel bad. The downside of you getting into a fight is that you die. So looking at those two things weighed out, the de-escalation is better.
right. Thanks.
Yeah, there's like a whole like logic sequence behind this, but I think it's like verbal de-escalation, then it's gun fu, which is like having your own gun. And then the third one would be like some kind of striking form, and the fourth one would be like, I don't know, some grappling form of martial arts. But yeah, I've gamed for 10 years and over 4 continents, and the amount of guys that like even yelled at me is maybe like 3. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the vibe I gave off or something. I don't know.
So another thing you can do if with girls that have guys on them, you just compliment them on being a cute couple, and then they'll tell you if they're together. So like if you ever find like group like a guy and a girl together, and the guy is whatever, I just go up and I say, hey, you guys are a cute couple. And if they're not together, the guy will be like, oh no, we're just friends. The girl will say, oh, we're just friends, right? You're like, oh, okay, whatever. What are you guys' names then? And then you just start the conversation, and then that's how you insert yourself. It's more strategic, right? Power, not force. You don't want to force anything. You want to let, power from the knowledge that you have and the skills you have be the determining factor.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. If anyone else wants to join the stream, post the link here. We'll do about, I don't know, 20 more minutes. We'll pop off. Cool. Let's see. So girls mentioned OnlyFans stripping as their job on dates. Automatic disqualifier for me. I'll fuck them, but won't take them seriously. Thoughts? Yeah, so it depends on your personal morals, I guess. Stripping is kind of like weirder for me than OnlyFans. Also, I think strip club. I saw a strip club the other day. It said like the sign outside said like hiring dancers, and I think what happened is like these girls are like, I could make just as much money, if not more, on OnlyFans, and I don't have to deal with creepy guys in real life. So why would I do that? Funny enough, I've also heard from other strippers that a lot of guys come in just to complain about their wives. Like they just come in to talk to another girl and be like, "Ah, my wife." Blah, blah, blah. Now OnlyFans, I feel like is kind of different because if she's not fucking a guy on her OnlyFans and she's just like showing herself, then obviously, what does that show? It's like, oh, she has lack of intelligence. She maybe has no other skills, and maybe she has like bad upbringing, some trauma there where she like feels the need to get attention from men online. So it could be that, or it could just be a girl like, oh, I've always just been really hot and I wanted to make money and retire at age 30. If I met a girl and she was like financially free at age like 30 or retired, like I don't know, that seems pretty cool to me. Like the other cool thing about OnlyFans, I think, is they can take off all their content or something, or I don't know how it works, but something like that. And it's not as public, right? So I don't know. I don't know what the future will hold. Maybe all these images will get leaked somewhere, and then if you end up dating an OnlyFans girl and get married to her and have kids with her, then the kids at school will bully your son because their mom's an OnlyFans model. I don't know how that works, but it's up to your own personal thing. One of the things I do is there's a girlfriend criteria thing in the course where you write down all the criteria, and one of them is deal breakers. So I go through a list of deal breakers that are common. And yeah, that's a pretty common one for guys. Any kind of like sex work or any kind of like weird stuff like that. I also give you guys in the course a software that you can use to find girls' images. So like find their backgrounds basically. So like if you you like a girl, you can basically just run her through that software and basically it'll tell you like, it'll show exactly like what she's done. Yeah. Yeah. So this one I can't give a direct thing because, and I don't like the direct mindset of like, oh, I just do 1,000 approaches and then it all solves itself, because it takes away from the idea that you have to learn from their approaches. So one of the things in the course I go into is the process. I call it the wheel of learning. So approaching is the first step in the wheel of learning. Then you have other steps that help you learn from that, iterate, get feedback, etc. And yeah, if you're just looking at it like that, I think it's a kind of a myopic way to look at it. And also different guys will progress at different speeds. So for example, typically if a guy is like has his entire life together except for dating, he would progress faster through the phases. Would you guys agree on the chat? Yeah, it's like this guy's fit, healthy, rich, cool, has a good life. He just doesn't understand game and dating, and he just needs like the system. Like he would probably progress through the phases really quickly. However, what if that same guy, he was traumatized by being beaten by his mother when he was a child? Then he has trauma associated with women. What if he had a girl cheat on him? Or what if he was in high school, he flirted with a girl and then everyone made fun of him after he got rejected? That kind of guy is going to have a lot more resistance getting over the desensitization phase. He's going to need to do more internal work. He's going to need to do more trauma release. He's going to need to do more mindsets. He's going to need to do a lot more stuff and a lot more reps of the desensitization process for him to get over it. So it depends on the person. If I were to just throw out a number though, I'd say probably 1,000. Yeah. And you can get through that in about, maybe that's too much. Somewhere between like 100 and 1,000. Because I'll have a lot of students come on immersions, and on immersion, you approach 100 girls in the 4 days. And at that point, a lot of them are like, dude, I've gotten over approach anxiety like the first or second day. Like they also have a lot of momentum built up. And when you find is like you build momentum, it's just like harder to stop than it is to continue. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. You ever like get into the flow with working out and you're just like, you feel weird if you don't work out that day. You're like, I didn't hit the gym. Yeah. I feel weird. And then if you get injured, like I got injured recently And I noticed I was forgetting to go to the gym because I had just not gone to the gym for 5 months. So like that trigger in my brain that says like go to the gym was just not there.
I think it would be
What
a
is-
good question. Sorry. Do you cover on your course like how do you know when you're on each level?
Yeah, so there's a test actually. There's a Google form that you fill out, and as you go through it and answer questions, it'll tell you exactly what phase you're at.
Okay.
Cool. Someone
I
had
got
a question in the
question.
chat. Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
How much does your course cost? Like, what's the price on your course?
Yeah, $497.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to value stack this first. So I was doing this earlier, but basically, yeah, most courses focus on 3% of the transformation that leaves like gaping holes in your skill set. So there'll be a course, for example, like here's the text game course. Here's how you master text game. And then there'll be a course like here's the inner game course. And then someone will come out with a course like, hey, here's how to meet girls in different countries. And then someone will come out with a course like, here's the approach anxiety buster course. And it's like, do you realize that like getting over approach anxiety is like 5% of the journey? It's a substantial chunk of the journey, but doesn't cover everything. And just being able to approach doesn't mean that your internal mindset and beliefs are going to change dramatically. So everyone gives you like 3% of shit, and then they give it to you out of order. So there's no sequential process to learn it. Someone else asked about like what makes this course different. And yeah, so they'll go deep on like that one thing. They'll go deep on, let's say, here's a digital hack to meet girls on Tinder. And that's all I'm going to teach in this course. It's like, okay, so what do I do on the date? What do I do when I want to take that girl out on a date? What do I do when I want to make that girl into a girlfriend? How do I, bring up conversations that are difficult to have, but are essential for having a long-term relationship? How do I build my inner belief system so that I don't feel like I don't deserve that girl? How do I approach girls in real life? How do I meet girls? How do I take this to the next level? How do I do, let's say, if I wanted to do promoting, how do I do that? Let's say I want to have threesomes. How do I do that? Most courses cover like 5% of what you need to know. And then what they do is they say, hey, you don't have that part because it's in this other course. And then you end up buying all these like random courses and they don't fit together. They're out of order and it's just like confusing. And then you're just where you started, which is a bunch of random theory. So the number one thing that makes my course different is you basically get dropped into it with a community and then you go through the skills one by one to reach the next phase. Thomas, what's up, mate?
Hello. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
But the other thing is, even if they give you some stuff, they'll give it to you like just theory, and they don't give you practical exercises to turn the theory into skills through practice. Because that's ultimately what's going to transform your life. It's not knowing a bunch of shit, although knowing kind of helps slightly. It's that you're using what you know to transfer into skills that you have, right? Because if I like just snap my fingers like this, and you guys were at that naturalization phase in game, how much would that be worth to you? It would be like infinitely valuable, right? If you're like, fuck, I can approach anyone, anytime, anywhere. I have this entire skill set. I know how to pull in every situation. I know how to deal with social circle game. I know how to deal with online game. I know how to optimize these every country I'm in, when I travel, when I'm at home. I know how to set boundaries in relationships. I know how to, convince girls to do great things that I like to do during sex. Whatever it may be, you have the skill to do all of that. It's insanely valuable. But, that doesn't exist right now. So you have to kind of learn it sequentially. What's up, Thomas?
Hello.
How you doing over there in Australia?
I'm doing pretty fucking amazing, to be honest.
Show us your outfit. I know you've been going deep on fashion. Boom. The necklace, the watch, the ring, bro. He's all fuck triggered out. He's got the triggers.
Yeah, Yeah,
Nice.
so I have
And
a
you've
question.
you've progressed past just black shirts. Now you have different colors. Now you have a gray shirt and a jean jacket. Nice.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
So last night I pulled a Colombiana, big booty Colombian girl. And like, so we're like making out my bed, blah, blah, blah. And then there was like resistance when it came to like sex, you know? How do I know if it's like resistance to sex or if she's on her period? Like, how would you go through that?
So this is something I won't cover on a live
Okay.
stream or on my YouTube channel. But yeah. I don't even think I can talk about this. So I'm just not going to talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, basically make sure the girl's comfortable. I think I could say this. Make sure the girl's comfortable, read her cues, make sure you're empathetic. One of the biggest things for me is just taking the idea of sex completely off the table and go out in the living room, watch Planet Earth, go for a walk. I often will take my dog for a walk. And what you'll find is that usually a girl's just uncomfortable with the timing. And if you see her again, or if you wait, then she comes around. I guess I can say that, but I'm not going to get into technical nitty gritty stuff on YouTube.
Okay,
It's
I
a
have
bit
a,
too
I have a
much.
different question if that's okay.
How?
Totally
Let's ask you
unrelated.
this. Let's ask you this question. What's your leg count now?
5, something like that.
Nice. Tommy lost his virginity at my house. Not to me, to a girl.
Oh.
Thomas flexing with the pulls.
Thank you. Yeah, so if I can ask another question, what specific steps did you go through to get through your like depression when you were depressed? Because I don't know, I have like some trauma stuff coming up.
Yeah. So one thing was that I didn't know it at the time what it was called, but I just kind of did CBT on myself. So I did cognitive behavioral therapy on myself. So I basically had like 100% negative thoughts at one point, and then it became like 99%, and I just became more and more aware of the thoughts I was having. So I'd literally like write them down. I just write down like what I'm thinking, and then I'd ask myself like, is this belief helping me? And is this belief true? Is this idea true? And if you analyze them, most negative beliefs you have are neither helpful or true. And then what you do is once you're more aware of them, you can start positively reframing. So you have access to the course right now. So there's a 10-day positivity challenge in there. And what it helps you do is retrain your brain to be more positive. So actually, the first speech I ever gave publicly was on positivity. And I was coming from a place of being completely negative and depressed. So the speech I gave was how to be positive and why positivity and optimism is necessary for success and how I came to that place. And yeah, one of the main things I did was reframe the thoughts that I had. And then when I did have them, I'd say, like, for example, what's something I could complain about right now? I don't know. I'm kind of out of it because my sleep schedule is weird. But you know what? I'm doing what I love. I'm awake. I'm going to be awake during the hurricane here. It's going to be fun. I can always reset my sleep schedule, and I control my own life. So I can create my own schedule. If I want to eventually, stop doing so many immersions, then I can have a normal sleep schedule, or I could choose to, hey, let's just do day game immersions or whatever. So I have the ability to control my life. So I can always positively reframe a negative belief into a positive thing, or a negative idea or a negative thought into a positive thought. So like, even like if you're hungry, what does that mean? That means that when you eat food, it's going to taste so much better. The best sauce of all is hunger.
Yeah. I relate a lot on that positivity point as well. Like usually my default state is like really negative, and so over like the past few weeks, I've just been practicing like reframing positive, negative thoughts into positive ones, and that's helped me a ton.
Nice.
Even if I'm like failing, I don't feel like I'm like losing. I still feel like I gained something out of it, or like I learned something. So I don't really lose. Like they don't have a bad interaction or whatever.
Cool. Let's see. Baby girl, the only thing a period stops is a sentence.
Oh my god.
Saying that out of context is cool. Okay, we got a question from Cal. Do you have a strategy to isolate torch girls from the groups for the next day dates when living in a party city when you don't really enjoy bars and clubs? This is a big question. So you wouldn't have to isolate them from the group. It would just be like inviting her on a date. The problem is when girls are tourists to a city, they have a schedule that they're following. It's much easier to, if you have a wingman sometimes. I've actually, my girlfriend of 1 year, one of the hottest girls I've ever dated, actually did the first Playing with Fire Alex like in studio podcast was with me and that girl. She was traveling to my city, and she would not leave her friend no matter what. She says, no, when I travel with her, we do everything together. I do not want to leave her stranded alone in a hotel room because that's fucked up. And like, think about it, like if a girl's traveling with if she's traveling with a big group, it's easy and easy-ish. But if she's traveling with just one other girl, think about what the other girl has to do. She has to sit in a hotel room by herself. So I've had a lot of situations where like I'll fuck a girl in my hotel room, and then like her friend is like on the other bed, like just laying there, and I'm fucking her friend on the other bed. So you get into some awkward, weird situations like that. But sometimes I'll have the girl just sit in the living room, and I'll put on like whatever show she wants. She watches it, and then I just bring her friend in the living room when it's time. Also, sometimes I have a wingman pop in, right? So it's a good reason why that you should live in a degenerate household for like 1 year while learning this is you'll just have, a wingman always there. So if you pull two girls or you have a double date, you can always call on your wingman to help out, and then you help out him, vice versa. Yeah. Cool.
You mean like you bring both girls in?
Yeah, another thing is you're like, I don't like bars or clubs. I mean, there's a lot of things. To be honest, I have a thing called highly sensitive person, HSP. So like for years when I would look at bars and clubs, I was just confused. I was like, why would you go in there? It's just loud. They play shitty music. And you're just like, I didn't make sense to me whatsoever. And then I realized that people do it for sex. And then it made sense to me and it clicked in my mind. I was like, oh, they're out to like have sex with people. Okay. And then I was like, okay, I can endure this. So the first time I went into a nightclub, I was there for 5 minutes and I had to leave because it was like too annoying to my head. And then over the course of time, I realized like, yeah, it's just fun to socialize in general. Like it's fun to socialize with guys, girls, meet people, exchange vibes, emotions, and yeah, just have like a fun night. It's also fun to dance. That's one thing I've noticed, that the worse guys are at game, there's a lot of main cues. One is they can't let loose and dance because they're trapped in their head, worried about what people think about them. They can't maintain eye contact, and they can't just be happy and present and feel good in their body. Like they're always like kind of, they get this weird energy that's kind of like have to figure something out or they have to do something. They can't just like chill out. They can't dance and they can't maintain eye contact. Those are some of the things that I see. So if you go out to a nightclub and like you can dance, let loose, you can socialize, you can chill, you can maintain eye contact, you're far above like where most guys are at. Especially like I feel like we've all gotten more socially awkward from the whole COVID lockdowns and everything. And I can't imagine growing up in your time, like Sam and Charles and stuff, with like, you just like grow up on the internet essentially. Like, yeah. And you do lack certain things from that, right? I'm kind of
Yeah.
fortunate that like I had a pre-internet time of growing up. But yeah, the alternative is basically I'll always end with the good news. The good news is you have 4 quadrillion connections in your brain. So just by doing anything, you change your brain. Whether you ate breakfast this morning or not changes your brain. Whether I pick this up or not changes my brain. It's making different connections, right? So by making these connections, you're starting to make those what are those axons, dendrites connecting in your brain so that you can form a different perception, a different, accessing different parts of yourself and making these connections so you can socialize and kind of let loose naturally. And yeah, part of the whole game transformation process is that you're making those connections, right? It's the same thing with like lifting. You don't even know your way around the gym before you start lifting. You don't know how the movements work. Whereas now, if I see a squat rack, there's parts of my brain just thinking about a squat rack. There's parts of my brain activating, like, oh, hands here. Like I bring it to a certain depth, go a little bit below parallel to get that full range of motion. Push up, 3 seconds down, 1 second up. Like there's all these things that start firing just from that one image. And that's essentially what you want to do for games is give yourself those references so that your brain starts to rewire so that you can be comfortable with it. The other thing for you, Thomas, I would suggest to go deeper in your thing was explore some of those. Did you read that book yet? The Body Keeps the Score?
No.
Yeah. So read that book or listen to the audiobook or listen to some YouTube videos on it first. And then the speaker of it, Bessel van der Kolk, he has YouTube videos where he talks about these concepts in general. Some of them have like 1 million views. And then start exploring some of those therapies. Some of them are going to be free. Some of them are going to be paid. You can even like ChatGPT. You can like ask for cognitive behavioral therapy from ChatGPT. Be like, these are the thoughts I'm having. Can you give me some ways to reframe these? Act as my what's it called? Act as my therapist and do CBT with me on these things. Yeah. So CBT is one thing, and the other thing would be EMDR for single event trauma, and then there's a bunch of other ones mentioned in the course. So just go to the trauma video and you can find the list. Also, you got access to Nate in the group chat, so you can ask Nate about getting over those. Okay, if a person is stifled and can't dance freely, how does he fix this? So the biggest thing for me was realizing that the reason you don't dance is not because you don't know the technical how to. It's just that you're not allowing yourself to just feel it. Recently, I went on a date with a girl I met in Los Angeles. I met her on Immersion, and I don't know who's making sound, but I'm going to mute everyone. She was making. Okay, we're good. It was you, Sam. I don't know what the sound was. Maybe the hurricane's hitting you as well. But I went on a date with her, and then we just like got some food or whatever. And then she's like, "Hey, do you like funk music?" And I was like, "What the fuck? I love funk music." And like people know me, I have like a very like interesting sense of music or taste in music, I guess. I like everything, but I really do like funk music and things that have kind of like soul background to it. So she's like, "There's a funk bar where I live and you can like dance there." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." So I went, and at first I was like, just kind of stepping. I haven't danced in a while. And then I was like, oh yeah, you just have to essentially unstifle yourself. Just get rid of the barrier. Stop thinking about what people think about you. Stop thinking about what people perceiving you like, and just fucking let yourself loose. And dude, I'm not the best dancer in the world, but I just fucking let myself loose, and it was fun. You get in some really interesting like flow stage just by letting yourself go and dancing. Brazilian funk, I cannot get behind, not at all. But I really like old school funk, like 1970s Black America funk. That is some of the highest form of music. I think the 1970s in general, 1967 and 1977 is probably the best decade of music in world history. And what you'll find too is like a lot of the best car design is from that point as well. Because people were taking LSD. This is part of a generation. There's like 4 turnings in a generation, and in this thing, there's this book called like the 4 turnings or something. And One of them is like the innovator or something like this, whatever. But they were taking acid and they thought more free associatively. Didn't someone else have a question on here? What's up, Tyrone? Tyrone, you want to join the stream? Turn your video on. Question. Sometimes I struggle to get hard to stay hard when a girl wants to have sex with me. I'm only 20. What's wrong with me? So the number one cause of erectile dysfunction under the age of 55 is porn-induced ED. So basically what may have happened is that you need a certain amount of dopamine or stimulus to basically get hard. So that's part of it. The other thing is you may just have performance anxiety, which is your anxiety gets kind of high. And then at that point, you can basically just tell the girl to relax, chill with you, and just kind of breathe yourself through it, because what you're doing is you're getting into fight or flight mode. And the other thing that could be an issue is that your testosterone is really low, and testosterone has a very high association with your libido and your ability to get erections. So you need to improve your testosterone. One of the videos in the course is on testosterone. I gave it out on free for YouTube. So if you just type in Austin Summers testosterone, you'll get on that. I've had people double their testosterone within 3 months just following the template I made. So yeah. Tyrone's on the stream. Now he's off the stream. Now he's on the stream. Now he's off the stream. Tyrone, turn on your video. This is a great question. I got a question.
I remember when I first watched one of your videos, you said you used to bring girls just to meditate with you. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to try that. But the thing is, I was too nervous to escalate. And I'm like, no, let's meditate. And I sat her down in front of me. And whenever she tried to escalate on me, I would be like, no, let's meditate. So it's pretty funny.
Nice. Yeah, man, I haven't done that in a while. I should do that. Yeah, like meditation before sex makes the sex like at least twice as good. So in the course too, I'll give you guys the connection exercise. You basically hold hands with the girl and do like an eye contact exercise, and you lead her through like this mirroring stuff. And yeah, so you can meditate with the girl, do the connection exercise, and then after that, it just literally feels like you're one being, and it's like it's weird if you don't have sex. So yeah, Thomas and I used to do this all the time with each other. After he'd edit a video, we just do the connection exercise.
In the shower.
Cool. Let's see. All right, guys. So it's been over 2 hours. I think I'm going to call it. So if you haven't yet, get on the VIP list. Oh, I forgot to trigger this thing. This would be cool. Let's see. Ticker. Boom. There we go. Game transformation comes out September 11th. Join the VIP list, awesomessummers.com/VIP, or you can scan the QR code on the top right that looks sexy as fuck, because the details matter. We got Tyrone. He's back. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I don't know why.
Are you on the VIP list, Tyrone?
No, I just found the stream. YouTube didn't notify me that you were live. So I don't know why. I hit the bell and everything.
Oh, okay.
So
what's up, man? You got a quick question? I know you were in the waiting room for a while.
Yeah, I'll make it quick because I have to watch the replay. So somebody may have asked this, but I was wondering, when was the point you noticed the most, like starting from 0 to whatever number? At what point did you notice like the hugest jump from like beginner to more advanced? Like, because I've heard some people say they approach like thousands and thousands of chicks, but I'm assuming it didn't take like 10,000 chicks just for you to notice an improvement. Yeah. Like, was it like 500?
So I'll break it down like this. So basically at this point, so when you hit the strategy phase, you're having great interactions with girls, and then you're getting very strategic about how do I lead this forward. The other phases obviously include strategy, like desensitization and vibe. You're learning how to get numbers and go on dates. And then sexualization, you're learning more strategy and stuff. But the strategy phase really hones in on this and gets you like extremely streamlined with pulling. And that's the phase where when guys hit that, their results start to skyrocket because they're having great interactions. And then girls are like, what now? I want to see what happens next. And then that's when their results hit an inflection point. Your results will hit an inflection point before you naturalize in game. And another thing about it is that you'll still have to think about the strategy while you're going through it. So you have to be consciously competent while you're going through. You'll be like, okay, wait, I have to remember to seed. And you'll be like, okay, cool. Mention something to do at my place. Then you'll be like, okay, now I have to, remember to go for the pull. And you go for the pull, and she says some objection. And you're like, okay, now I have to remember some of the objections. And then you'll have these like little whispers in your ear. That's literally when it came to me, that's how it was. It was like I was in an interaction with girls, and then I heard like theory that I had been listening to, like whisper in my ear, like start seeding the pool. And like I heard that, and I'm like, fuck, okay, I have to do this. So start seeding the pool. And then even times like this is kind of a, I don't know, more gross example, but my first bathroom pool. Like I was at this bar. I actually went there when I was in LA a couple weeks ago. It's called Isabel with a Y. And I was in this upstairs area, and this girl, I was just practicing this one thing I was learning, which was like how to get girls to like chase your validation. So she was chasing so hard that she literally, like, what happens in a girl's brain when she chases that hard is that she ends up feeling like she needs to fuck you to validate herself. So this is a manipulative thing. I tried it once. I don't want to use it ever again. I decided after that night. But she literally was like trying to have sex with me outside in a bar because of the frames that were set, where she was chasing for validation. So anytime she tried to get my validation, I'd strip her of it. It'd be like, she'd kiss me and I'd be like, oh, you're a shitty kisser. She'd tell me something to brag. She's like, oh, I speak 2 languages. I'm like, what's the other language? She's like, French. And I'm like, oh, disgusting. She's like, no, it's a beautiful language. So then she was trying to have sex with me, and she was like, take your pants off. I'm going to fuck you right here. You'll see how good I am. Something like this. And I basically, like, in my head, I heard like, bathroom pool. And I'm like, oh, I just take her to the bathroom. So we went to the bathroom and hooked up in the bathroom. So like, these are like things that, once you hit the strategy phase, these things that you hear will start becoming, useful at that point. And that's why I don't give you a whole lot of that shit until you're at that point, because it's unnecessary. I only give you what you need to know at every phase. So I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Before the horse.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is just a sequential system, and I people learn like about how to set up their bedroom to optimize it before they learn how to make the conversation fun, or like make it engaging, or talk about sexual topics. Like you have to do that stuff before you get to that point. But I don't know if that answers your question fully, but because
that was good.
Yeah. Because I don't like to look at it like a certain amount of approaches, because then you just look at it like this chore. I just have to get over the certain amount of approaches before I get to the next thing, versus just enjoying the process. Like if you have a genuine love of the process of game, you will get better at game. Everyone I know that's insanely good at game, everyone that I've interviewed about game for my 50 player interviews in the course, they love women and they love the process of seduction. They love, the people that like doing social circle. They love bringing people together. They like messaging people. They like the tension of it. They like positioning themselves as high status. The guys that love doing day game, they like just going out for a walk. They like getting their steps in. They like the sunshine. They like the fresh air. They like meeting girls, just without any distractions, and just creating that one-on-one connection. For the guys that, like night game, they like to just go out and have a fun party adventure of the night, and, get into the most peak states possible. The guys that like doing digital game, they like the strategy of it all. They like, setting up the systems. They like the automation. They like the text replacement stuff. They like all that kind of stuff. So they like the process of game. They like coming up with witty things. They like how it shapes them. And for me, I looked at game somewhat like the gym, but like a fun gym. It's like you go out, you have fun, and you also shape yourself with it. Through the process that you're going through, you're not only, it almost sounds too good to be true. Through the process of game, you heal inner trauma, you build self-confidence, you have sex with girls, and then you become the coolest version of yourself. Like, there's nothing else that does all of that. Look at the guys that do gym videos. You know, like the guys that do really cool gym videos on YouTube, it's like they're like athletic, but they're like not that charismatic. Some of them are charismatic and they work on that through YouTube and other stuff. But you know, what's another path that you could go on? It could be just like business. I don't envy business gurus at all. Dude, these guys, they'll literally tell you. There was a podcast between Alex Hormozy and the guy More Plates, More Dates. He's like, I just feel myself becoming more and more like a hermit. I stay inside and I feel like myself becoming autistic as I just discuss more complex business strategies with my autistic business partners. It's like,
Yeah.
Is that the best way to live life? I don't think it is. My definition of a good life is like having a positive mind that I view life through. So everything I go through is fun. There was when I was in LA, the room that I was in was so bright and I didn't have time to cover shit up to make the room blacked out. So I just slept in the closet. And like, this was a thing that we'd talk about on program. I did it with Carl, who's a savage as well. We just get into some really uncomfortable situations. Like we missed our flight to LA. So we got a secondary flight. I hustled and then we slept overnight in the airport and we're just like, this is fine. This is great. Right. So if you have a positive mindset, life is just this fun adventure, right? Obviously there's some tough parts about life, but life's a fun adventure. So a good life for me is having a positive mind, also combined with getting what I want. Right. So I have the gratitude and I also have the goal acquisition. It's like I can appreciate where I am right now. I love my life, but you know let's see if I can make my life more awesome. That's the mindset. It's like my life's awesome. Let's see how I can make it more awesome. So good life for me is travel, adventure, hanging out with awesome girls, having cool friends, doing cool activities. And also one part about being a man is that when you are exhausted but victorious, that is like the ultimate feeling of being a man. At the end of a night, when I was in Denmark for 18 hours, I had a layover. I just drank a coffee, stayed up all night, I gamed, pulled a really hot girl, dealt with this issue with her friend. And at the end of the night, I felt victorious, right? After dealing with all the shenanigans and all the, oh, her friend doesn't want me to go up to their hotel room. So I talk to her in the hotel lobby and then I get a hotel room for myself and then convince her to go see the rooftop and then back to my hotel room. And then like just that whole process, I'm like, I feel victorious at the end of that. And it's kind of like the skill that builds all other skills, right? It's like the guys I know from back in the day that I used to game with, they're all multimillionaires now. They're traveling the world. We're part of this network. It's called the AC, the Alpha Circle. It's basically, in order to be part of it, you have to make over 6 figures. You have to have a great dating or social life. And you have to be a genuinely cool guy that people want to hang out with. So eventually I want to create something similar too for my audience. So that like once you guys reach the naturalization phase and you want a cool network of guys to hang out with that you can, talk business with, that you can go on trips with, that you can connect with. Like I want to create that too. That'll be like the third group chat I have. Should be a cool thing to ascend to. So that way you have something to look forward to as well. But anyway, that's what a good life is for me. And then like having a home base where I have friends and, a routine and stuff that I can always come back to and I can see my family and friends, etc. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my take on it. But yeah, if you guys haven't yet, get on the VIP list. You get an instant infield. Tyrone, do you want an instant infield from the course?
Oh yeah, I'm going to sign up as soon as you end this.
Boom.
Oh, I did have one other quick question too.
What's your question?
Because I saw you on Alex's stream before. I actually assumed you were like a natural, quote unquote. I don't know if you consider yourself that or not. Because like the thing where you said, I like the way you put it. Like at a certain point, you started having like voices on your shoulder telling you what to do. Because I kind of envisioned like naturals kind of have that without having to learn any formal game. Like I just never heard anybody put it into that perspective. Cause like I remember when I was in college, as I started to get older, like when I went from like freshman to sophomore to junior, the things that friends would tell me after like I chilled with a girl, like let's say I chilled with a girl in her dorm and I made out with her, but I didn't smash. And I had friends telling me after the fact, like, oh, you should have did this, you should have did that. Whereas when I got a little older, I started kind of before it got to the point where I made a mistake, I would have that voice pop up telling me, oh, you should do this, you should lead her here, you should isolate this and that. I don't know if you because again, it seems like you kind of learn that over time, but like I don't know if it's just the way you come off, but like every time I've seen you on Alex's streams, I always assumed you were a natural and you just always were kind of like, you know, free flowing when you're talking to women. I don't know if you kind of built that up over time though. Because I assumed you were always like that.
Yeah, well, dude, first of all, I appreciate the compliment. I've reached the naturalization phase, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, the truth is that I started off completely inept with girls, and I'm actually creating a this will be on September 11th. You'll see my whole journey. Like you'll see videos of me starting out. You'll see pictures of me back in the day. I even have some like my baby videos from Canada in there. Like you'll see like my whole transformation through this. And that's why I made the course Game Transformation, because I've been on the transformation, and that's how I can give these feedback to guide people along the way. So you're mentioning high school, dude, there were like a year and a half, 2 years of high school where I was so depressed that when I was at school, I would go straight to the bathroom and sleep in a bathroom stall. I've never said that publicly before, but that was literally what I went through. But most of the time I was just skipping school. I was jumping over the fence, walking 8 miles home. Because I was so depressed and I had such a negative self-image that I wanted to proactively destroy my life. So that's where I started out. And I think that's the main thing that happened was I just, I had all this trauma happen when I was 12. My mom passed away. My stepdad abandoned me. My dad wasn't very supportive. My sister was always, in my teenage years, she was always like with a different boyfriend and sleeping over at his house. And so I was just kind of alone in the suburbs, surrounded by old people, and like just felt isolated and alone. And, I had all that trauma that happened when I was 12 just hit me like a ton of bricks. So I spent most of my teenage years depressed. And I think that's one of the reasons some people ask, like, why did I go so hard about game when I found it? So number one, I felt like I was discovering the keys of the universe. And number two, I felt this insatiable desire to make my life better because I had already experienced what nothingness and darkness and depression looks like. So I didn't want any more of that. And I wanted to live a full life. So I learned it very incrementally. And the voices that I heard were from the videos that I was watching at the time. So I was in several courses, and one thing I would do is I would play the courses through like aux cords back in the day, through an aux cord in my car and drive around and listen to courses on repeat. Like I would just let it like percolate into my subconscious all the time. So any kind of theory I heard it like 3-4 times. Now, could I have learned and progressed faster if I just had like a sequential course to go through or a mentor at the time? For sure. But I was doing what I knew I could do at the time. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but September 11th, the day that will end in infamy. This, I'm going to drop my, dude, maybe I should play this clip. It's so funny. Let me see if I can, can I share audio? Whatever. I'll just save it as you guys will see it in either the promo video or you'll see it in September 11th when that video comes out. But there's a very funny call to action in it. But yeah, I listened to that, and then also I started gaining a community of people to help me, and I felt all that super valuable. That's another thing I forgot to mention. This is something you get in the course. This course is not just a course to go through. While it is the best course that has been created, that's not even the shining glory of it all, because what I found is that the number one key to getting better at game, besides having the strong desire, is having a community of people that support you, that you can have conversation with, and having a mentor to guide you. So one of the things you get in this course is calls with me forever. So you get lifetime calls with me where you can ask me in-person questions, deep questions. Yeah.
Wow. Now,
So I think
props
I
for getting
phrased
over
it-
that. I would have never. I was gonna say props for getting over that. I would have never guessed like you went through that as a teenager. Like that's a lot of stuff to happen all at once. So I mean, like you don't carry any of that negative energy with you now. For what I've seen, like I would have.
Yeah, I will say there's part of me that trauma will always affect you somewhat, but you can diminish it like 98, 99%. And you can stop it affecting your life extremely to an extreme extent. That's what all these books I've read on trauma and therapy and stuff. That's basically what the conclusion they come to is that it takes time and it takes, facing your fears. It takes facing uncomfortable truths, having uncomfortable conversations and having some dark nights of the soul. But, yeah, you can essentially get over it. You have to do the right steps, right? And it's not just hustling through it or hard work that gets you through it. It's leverage, right? The people who get the most out of life because they have leverage. They have, they set up their environment and circumstances to help them out. They have a really strong friend that helps them out. They have a good social network. And the people that honestly have some of the best game, they have very good social lives. They're just cool guys. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're fucking the most girls, because the people that have to fuck the most girls, they're often the most damaged. And they're often the people that, you don't want to spend a lot of time around.
I
they're
agree.
The people that, they don't even have a group of friends. They don't have long-term relationships. They just, it's just girl after girl after girl in this black hole trying to fix themselves. Whereas you can use the process of game and the action of meeting girls to actually facilitate your own growth. Once you reach a certain point in your growth, there's other areas that will give you more bang for your buck. There's diminishing returns with learning game. I think after you hit about 100 lays, there's not really much else to learn. Honestly, maybe even like 50.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying that all because I've gotten arguments because I have friends that like their body count span from like 20 all the way up to the hundreds. And a lot of the guys that, some of the black pillars would consider like Chads or whatever, some of my friends that I went to school with, they've been like married with kids for years. And like a lot of them actually have a lower body count than me, even though like I'm a normie or whatever you want to call it. So I think like I have this phrase I always tell people like body count is a coat. And I'm not saying it's completely useless, but like you said, I think once you hit 40, 50, 80, 100, whatever, there's like diminishing returns after a certain point.
Yeah.
And if you have the skill to get women, quality matters more than quantity, in my opinion. So
correct. And it's not just quality of the girls, it's like quality of your relationships that you have.
Exactly.
Sex gets better with a girl over time. So does like your ability to communicate with them, your ability to like go deeper. Having that a partner in some ways is like a mirror. They will reflect things back onto you and show you different parts of yourself and kind of help you on your own journey. So yeah, and then in terms of other areas of life, it's like, if you've done, getting laid is not the ultimate accomplishment of life, right? The ultimate accomplishment of life really is having a legacy, and the legacy is your children. So if you build a life that, your children are going to respect, you become the man that your children naturally respect. Like a lot of fitness coaches will talk about this. It's like some of the people that join their programs to lose weight, the impetus for starting that is that their kids are embarrassed when they drop them off at school. Like you think about like a fat guy dropping his kids off at school and like he's like embarrassed of you, the dad, being fat, dropping off the kids. So it's like you want to live a life and create a life that a woman sees a future in, and that your kids will be proud of. And like I think being a great father is like the coolest shit of all, right?
Oh, that's a good point.
It's respectable.
But yeah, that's in the long run.
Also,
That's
STDs
the
can get
next
pretty bad.
phase of game is fatherhood.
If you get a bad STD, it can be pretty gross. So
Yeah.
you gotta watch out.
Yeah, but also when you're talking about diminishing returns, it's like you learn game and you get, good results with girls. Then you realize like, wait, there's other areas of life that I can learn. So that's one thing that I do love about game too. It's like it's a meta confidence that you get, which means it's confidence that you can use in other areas. It's not just I'm confident with girls. It's like when you get confident with girls, you're also gaining social confidence with everyone. So I had tons of students that are like, dude, I got a raise at work. I got this super awesome career because people like just hanging out with me at like networking events and stuff. I feel like I relate better to my family. That was one thing for me. Like after I went through the game transformation, I felt like I was able to like be present and listen more to my family. When before I just bring up like debate topics and like debate religion with my family or something, So it's like, so you learn game, you get good with it, and then you can also use that inner confidence that you get, like knowing that I've gone through this, to use it on business. You can use it on fitness. Because if you don't have health, you don't have jack shit, right? It's like the healthy man wishes for 1,000 things, the sick man wishes for one. You want to be healthy, right? So working on your fitness, your business, your career, your health. And then eventually, once you get enough of those down, you get your Maslow's hierarchy. That's kind of what my course is built on, is like the actual Maslow's hierarchy pyramid. I don't know if you guys knew that. I literally just put my course onto that. But once you get to a certain point, you can self-actualize, and you can honestly reach a certain type of enlightenment, which is where you just have a joy day to day in life. So that's honestly if I were to tell you guys like the end result that you guys should aim for, it's having growth and contribution in your life to the point where you feel self-actualized, that you can essentially be enlightened. So yeah, you need some time to work on that. You need some financial freedom, and you also need some social skill and all this other stuff. But because I think at the end of the day, right, everything's just like, you want happiness, you want to escape uncomfortability, and the way to do that is honestly by changing your mind. It's not even necessarily changing your circumstances too drastically, although they can obviously have an effect. From going from 0 girls to having a girlfriend, it's a massive jump in happiness, right? Going from 0 girls, the jump from 0 girls to 1 girls is a massive jump. The jump from 1 girl to 2 girls is like a 10% jump, right?
Yeah,
this is what a lot of people don't get. Same thing with money. Going from broke to making 50K, huge difference. You have a car, you have a place you can stay, you can eat food. Like now 50K to 100K, it's pretty good, but it's not like as big of a jump. Like, oh, what, can I have 2 cars now? Can I live in a slightly better place? So as human beings, we don't really need, we don't really need very much to be happy. And you'll find, even, dude, I have the ability to eat out every single meal, and I choose to eat at home 90% of the meals, because most food that you eat out is just poison. It's like they put seed oils in it. There's grains, there's legumes, there's fucking, everything's genetically modified, not organic, whatever. I'd rather pay less money, eat at home. Like, yeah, I do have my assistant does cook for me, and that's like one of the coolest things. And when I live in other countries, what I do is I get a chef. A chef costs $400. You split that between like 4 guys. It's $100 a month to have a chef. And all your meals are cooked for you, and that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I think one of the things with money is you use it to buy time. I did this the other day. I'm actually thinking about selling my car. I'm so tired of driving. I'm gonna get an electric bicycle. The richer I get, the less shit I want. It's kind of funny.
I have one. I built my own one.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I want to get an electric bike, and then I'm gonna put a dog carrier on the back so I can like take my dog to the park and also use it for groceries and stuff. But honestly, that's another thing I used to buy time with recently, as I bought groceries through Amazon and they just delivered it for $10. And I'm like, if I go there, the time that it takes me and also like gas or electricity or whatever, it's just not worth it to like go grocery shop. Especially, dude, I like to grocery shop like 3 different places. So there's just like this guy who sells raw milk and like chicken that's fed no corn or soy. And then like he just has like really based food. So I go to his place, and then I like the steaks at Whole Foods, and they also have ground beef at Whole Foods. That's like it's from this place. It's like, what's it called? I don't know, but they do ancestral blends. It'll be like beef and liver and heart together. So I just like make my burgers with beef, liver, heart, egg yolk, cheese, and I eat that like every day. And I just, dude, I literally have if you guys want like the #1 time saving tip, meal prep your food in advance, and then you don't have to worry about cooking for like 3 days. You just like take burgers out, put it in the microwave, 2 minutes, eat, done. And another thing, I actually learned this from Brandon Carter, is paper plates and wooden utensils. So get a paper plate that has no like plastic covering, and then wooden utensils are obviously made out of wood. So you just eat it, throw it away, boom, done. It's like the fastest possible thing. Now, eventually, I do want to live in a place where I can have like a cleaner that comes like 3 times a week or something, because then I could just eat on like an actual dish and just she does all the dishes. That would be nice. But I feel bad making my assistant do dishes, especially when there's like more important things to do, like videos and stuff.
Oh, your pyramid is spot on too. That's I've seen other people have like a dating version of the hierarchy of needs, but like your pyramid where it goes from like I think what was it, desensitization all the way up to like naturalization. That's like the first time I've ever seen it. Like because I've talked to guys who were like good with women at an earlier age, and then some of my friends who didn't get good until like, you know, their late 20s or 30s. And like I always try to get them to verbalize like the process. Like when I would ask them like, oh, I haven't seen you in a few years, you know, you have this girlfriend now, like what did you do? And they couldn't really explain like the evolution of how they got from like when we were younger to older. Like they couldn't verbalize it. They just kind of said, oh, I got confident, or, you know, like I went to the army, or, you know, I moved to a different city, but they couldn't like put it into words exactly what that process was like. But that pyramid that's the first time I've ever seen someone actually like put it on a paper. So that's,
it's good to hear. Yeah, I'm making the promo video for the course right now, and so I have like I interviewed the 50 guys for the course, the player interviews, and I asked them all what they thought about it, and everyone's like, "Dude, that's like the best system I've heard." So I'm gonna put that in the promo video. It's literally just like coach after coach being like, "Dude, this is awesome." But that's sick, man. Yo, can I use your statement of that on the on like video or something?
Oh yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're gonna be famous.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, so I've been ranting too long, man. But I feel like, dude, 2 hours in, I feel like I hit my stride. You asked some good questions, Tyrone.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could have got here earlier, but that was good.
Yeah. Cool, man. So again, if you guys aren't on the VIP list, join the VIP list. Don't miss out on getting free infield. Why would you want to miss free infield? It's literally one of the best infields on the course I give out. So as soon as you sign up, you confirm your email, you get a epic infield sent to you. You don't have to put in your number, just put in your name and email. And yeah, you also get cool bonuses leading up to the course. I'm going to drop some other like cool stuff in the course in there. Like one of the things I have is ChatGPT prompts for dating. So you can basically like use, do you guys know how ChatGPT works? you just like put a prompt. Basically, I'll say like act as a travel advisor and tell me like the best day game spots, this type of thing. So I have like scripts for that, and you can just go through it. Boom, Jacob's got the course. Yeah, so we have we've also had people go through it already. So I had a tester group, and then I also have early bird guys that got in on 420. I like how the 2 dates I had were 420 early bird, and then 9/11 is the regular launch. But use memorable dates. That's one thing I've learned, because I've seen other people launch courses and they're like, it's on, July
Oh yeah,
12th, and you're like, what date was it?
yeah.
You can't
October 7th.
forget September 11th. Guys, this course is the bomb. It's launching September 11th. Gonna get you girls so hot they'll melt steel beams. Get you explosive results with women. So,
Oh man.
dude, I gotta write that one down. That's actually funny. Explosive results with women. Oh man. Cool. So that's pretty much it, guys. Join the VIP list, scan the QR code, tap the link down below, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Thanks, Tyrone Gonzo, for hopping on.
Thank you, man.
Later.
Thank you.